All right, guys, we're back here for the second day of Hope Outdoors event. I saw on the website this morning they put a picture up. I think we got another buck that came in this morning, but we're gonna head out here to the skinning rack and see if we can look at it. There's some guys out here already. They sighting in their rifles and stuff and getting ready for this afternoon. So they've already been at it this morning. We're fixing to have a lunch and a devotion, and then they'll come back out here. Well, I understand if anybody needs to shoot their gun or anything, they'll get it all the kinks worked out, and then they'll go back out again this afternoon. So let's head out here and see if we can see what they killed this morning. Y'all been skinning, huh?
Yes, sir. We just
did. Oh, look at that.
Nobody wants to come down here and hang out with us.
Good morning.
We got a whole bunch of hunters. They don't like, I don't know what they do at home when they kill one.
Is that the two for the 20?
Yes, sir. The ones on the back. 2 more bucks in the dough.
Good deal.
Right. I think one was bloodied up. I guess they didn't find. I think that was my name.
So is everybody killed?
No.
Not yet.
One of these ice chests was empty, so one of these is a new hunter from today. But for the most part, everybody gets a chance. Usually somebody will see one, bloody up one, something.
Y'all see me in the blind. Everybody I've went to, we've shot bucks. I don't know what's wrong with y'all.
My partner yesterday, that first one, he's scared. It was my fault. Well, this morning I cooked breakfast. I didn't go. But Dustin that was with us, supposedly he's scared off this morning. We told Chase, I was like, I wasn't there with the one common denominator.
One common denominator. All right, guys, we're here. I got a couple of people, especially this guy. He's a hard man to find because he is heavily involved with this. So when I found him, I'm gonna nail him down for some questions. This is the pastor here at Big Level Baptist Church in Wiggins, where he's taking the event. This is Mr. Kenny Robertson. Of course, y'all met Brian. He's the one that contacted me on TikTok. This is Jessica, and this is Shane Breland. Now, Shane has the playbook on everything, from what I understand. He's the man with the plan.
I'm gonna go that far.
But Shanna talked to y'all yesterday about what it was all about, but we want to go a little bit more deeper in detail. Y'all may have somebody out there that wants to come to this event. He can tell you how to get hooked up with this event and the process. So I'm just gonna kind of let him talk and spitball for a minute. Y'all listen up.
Gotcha. Well, man, Casey, we want to thank you for being here. And it's been a true pleasure getting to meet you and your family and sharing your heart with what's going on here at this event. That's what it's all about. Hope Outdoors is a nonprofit, non-denominational Christian organization that hosts handicapped and terminally ill people for hunting. We got chapters all across the state of Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Missouri, Indiana, and Tennessee right now. We're growing. Last 3-4 years, we've seen probably the whole organization's doubled.
Yeah.
In size. And we have around 300 applicants a year for Hope Outdoors. And what we do is we got a Facebook page. It's Hope Outdoors on Facebook. Our website is hopeoutdoors.org. And you can visit the website, Facebook page anytime. We got a YouTube channel also. It's Hope Outdoors on YouTube. Follow us on those channels, and around September 1st, all of our events for the deer season is posted on there. It's got a link to the website.
Yeah.
That you pick an event that you want to go to, whatever event you want to, and you'll click on that event page. It'll kick you to the website, fill out the application, but you get to choose one of 3 events.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you get a first choice, second choice, third choice. That way, if the first one's full, they can knock you down into it, but you only do one application on that.
Okay.
So, but September the 1st at midnight, I'm talking about crack at midnight, they hit the Facebook page, and they open up. And what they do is if you don't put an event you want to go to, they'll put you the closest chapter.
Mm-hmm.
But if you specify that event, they try to get you in the first one.
Okay.
Every event's a little different. Some people have churches where you can do everything at the church. Or I say church, let me back up. It may be a host site. It may be a civic arena or whatever, wherever they have their event at. Most of them are held at churches, but they can do everything from shoot the guns, skin the deer, feed the people, all that happens, or some of them is a little different. Right here, we're standing at our gun range right here. If you'll turn the camera right here, we're standing here. So when every hunter comes up here, we let them shoot their guns. We want to make sure that the gun's safe. We want to make sure the gun's on. We don't want a hunter out there and they think, well, I got Grandpa's gun. I want to kill a deer with it.
Absolutely.
But guess what? They get out here on the range and it's not hitting the target.
Yeah.
So we make sure that happens. We've had guns that are broke.
Yeah.
And they didn't realize it. We found that. We run a good range right here, so we take care of all of that right here. Over there behind the preacher's house, we have our skinning shed, which y'all may have seen on video already. So pretty cool there. So we get to skin the deer. Everybody gets to see that if the hunters want to do that. Sometimes hunters, they don't know what it takes to even skin a deer, so they'll go down there and they'll watch sometime. We do all that kind of stuff here. But Hope Outdoors is a national organization. Started 20 years ago this year. This is our 20th anniversary. We've been involved with it here at Big Level Baptist Church for 15 years.
That's great.
And it's grown every year.
Y'all definitely have volunteer. I'm impressed. What it takes to put this on, you don't even have a clue. I still don't know what this guy does, but I know he's busy. And
Absolutely.
it's let me ask you this.
Okay.
You said you got different events that they can go and choose. So does different chapters or different churches, like y'all are deer hunting, obviously.
All right. Well, yeah, right.
And
okay.
I've seen like some bass fishing, and so
we do. In Hurley, Mississippi, we got a fishing. They do some open water fishing out front, or not. Let me say inshore fishing.
Okay.
Hurley, Mississippi chapter, they do that. We've got Missouri's big on spoonbill.
Really?
They've been on spoonbill. Cool. So one of the Missouri chapters does some spoonbill. They do turkey hunts.
Awesome.
We got a couple of Mississippi chapters that do turkey hunts also. So it's, I guess, what you have available to you in your area that they try to outreach for that. So there's a Missouri duck hunt going on this weekend that they've carried some guys to up in that area. We've had a duck hunt in Mississippi before, so it is. It's specific to what you got available. We focus on deer down here just because that's the most resource we have.
That's right. Yeah, we're not like Louisiana. We ain't got all the water in the world.
We can't go to the Appalachian Basin. Apple, however you say it. And we can go fishing.
Exactly. Guys, I'm telling you, they got all their bases covered right down to safety. As hunters, it's our duty to be ethical and make sure that everything's working right before you go out there and take an animal. And they do that here. Safety should be a priority for everybody. And I'm impressed with what goes into it here. But thank y'all for spending some time and telling about this great event y'all got going on with. Man, it's very impressive. Y'all do a great job. I appreciate it.
I just looked at the same event.
All right, guys, welcome back. I was kind of scared I'd run some of y'all off yesterday, but it looks like we got a lot of y'all back. So I'm happy to see y'all. Y'all, I want to go back and just go back to a little bit of what we talked yesterday. Yesterday, we talked about how I learned to do things, some of the first struggles and obstacles that I had. Some of them were out of necessity, like overcoming crawling or scooting as I did. Some of them were fun things. We talked about hunting and fishing and football. We didn't get into trapping because I can stand up here and talk about trapping for days. I absolutely love it. But I would probably just keep on and on and on and on. So no more time than I have. We didn't get into that, but there is a lot of that on my YouTube channel. I encourage you to go back and watch them because it's pretty neat how I get to set the traps and stuff. And there's just a lot of cool stuff there. But I want to go back to yesterday, and I kind of want to tell y'all where Jesus was at through all that. I believe he was out in front of me. I believe he's out in front of me all the time. There's no way the people that were put in my life were from anybody else. I can tell you that I'm mostly independent, but I would be telling the fib if I told y'all that I was fully independent and didn't need any help. And I think as a man, first of all, but having a disability on top of that, it's hard to ask for help because you want to be like everybody else, and it's sometimes it can be embarrassing. It's just a really hard thing to do, but there's no doubt if I didn't rely on others that I would be able to do some of the things that I did in my life. And I believe God was out in front of me placing those people in my life because me and another fella, that fella right there, if you've done everything that you can possibly do for something and then ask for help, it's a lot different. And those people were always there. I'll tell you one instance that, or something that I didn't really think about as a kid, because I had my mom there all the time. And that was getting dressed. She always dressed me before school and after school and all that. But as a little kid, what do they want to do? They want to go spend the night with other little kids. And someone invite me to the house, I'd automatically accept because um, I just want to be with other kids, and never even really thought about that. And you get going over to somebody's house, and it gets to be bedtime and stuff like that. Things start running in your mind. I was like, I don't know if our parents are going to help me. I don't know what's going on here, but it was always another person my age that would help me, and it it's amazing the the heart that children have at that age and what they did for me. Getting dressed for football. Of course, mom dressed me to go to school. You go to school after school, football practice, and there's obviously a wardrobe change there. And I wouldn't think about it till it started getting close to practice. When I first started, and I got to thinking, well, is my coach going to help me? What's going on? And I was instantly met in the locker room from another kid my age, and it's always the person that you don't expect. We as humans try to judge other people. It wasn't the guy from the social crowd. It wasn't the guy, the popular guy. It wasn't any of that. It was always the quiet person nobody wanted to be around or stuff like that. Were always willing to lend a helping hand for me without me asking. Now I don't know if the coaches were involved or mom was involved or what, but they just appeared that they met that need for me. And it taught me not to judge people, or like we like to say, judge a book by its cover. Um, People will surprise you. Don't think that the world's full of evil people. Well, the world is full of evil, but there's still good people left in this world. Is what I'm trying to tell you. And it's always the person that you wouldn't expect. And this went on into college. I graduated high school and went to college. The obstacle there was taking notes. I could take notes in high school because high school is more one-on-one. It's a little bit slower pace, and I could take the notes. And if I didn't get something, you could always ask, your teacher when, and she'd go back and repeat it. When you get to college, those professors get up there and they start talking. They don't stop. They don't care if you got it or not, and they talk fast. So it went when I went to set up my college classes. You talk with a counselor, and got all my classes set up, and they said, "Well, you gonna need a note taker?" I said, "Yeah, is there such a thing?" He's like, "Oh yeah, we can get you a note taker." I was like, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." So when I walked into my first college class, here comes a girl around the corner, and she said, "Hey, Casey, I'll be the one taking your notes today." And it was always a high GPA student that took really well notes. And what they did is they had a carbon paper. It was just notebook paper like this, had a carbon copy under it. She would take her notes, tear it off. She'd keep one copy and give me the other copy. So it was all taken care of. And again, these were people that you wouldn't, you know, as we judge people, somebody you wouldn't think you would associate with. And I'm guilty of that. That's what I'm trying to say. And it started really opening my eyes about how the world works and how God was working in my life. So talking about college is where I met Stephanie, my beautiful wife. I started at Jones. Well, I actually started at Hines, went 2 years at Hines, and then I came back down to Jones Junior College. Met Stephanie, and we started dating. And Stephanie and her family were very avid church members, and I'm talking about every time the doors were open, they were going. Um, the church I went to, that my grandma went to, was a Presbyterian church. I was not a member. Um, Stephanie and them were Baptists, and there's a little bit of difference between the denominations there. And I can remember the weirdest thing to me when I started going to a Baptist church was the invitation at the end. We didn't have that Presbyterian. I mean, they tell the message and then they pray and then it's over with. And it was about this time we're going to talk about um, my conversion earlier. You remember I said it. I may have had a false conversion. I kind of maybe a not thorough conversion, because when I was little, I was in about third grade, and I just knew that I needed Jesus. And I knew that Jesus was the only way. So I said a very simple prayer, is just, "Jesus, will you come into my heart?" That was it. And I didn't feel like I had all the information that I needed at the time. And I think Jesus understood that. And I think he still went out and went with me everywhere I went. I didn't fully understand that I didn't commit to God the first time until we went. She's going to Calvary Baptist Church, and they were having a revival. We attended every service. I think it was a 3 or 4 day revival. And I started having this, when invitation was called every night, I started having this feeling in the pit of my stomach and nervousness in my head, and all these questions were running through my head. And I started realizing that I may not have done it right the first time. And by the last night, I was tired of wondering. I was tired of wondering if I was saved or not. Sometimes the devil will put doubt in your mind, because I kept getting that feeling, and I knew something right, and I wanted to make it right. So I decided to make the decision to accept Christ as my Savior. And the preacher got everybody to bow his head. He said the sinner's prayer. I went down front. Associate pastor took me in the back room and asked me how I knew that I was saved. And I said, well, because I asked Jesus to come in my heart. And again, that was it. I was still green, if that's what you want to say. And they just sat down. They just sat down right there and laid it out for me. And they laid it out how to become a Christian and what it meant to be a Christian. And I'm gonna share some of that with y'all tonight, because there may be somebody in here having the same feeling that I have, and don't know all the answers and don't have all the information. So they sat down and they laid out the ABCs of how to become a Christian. And A is admit that you're a sinner and that you need a savior. B is believe Jesus is God's son. He lived on earth. He died for our sins. He rose again on the third day and lives in heaven. He's alive and living in heaven today. C is commit. You need to commit to God as your Lord and Savior and live for him. It's simple. It's so simple a child can do it. I mean, but you got to have all the steps. And it's easy to make a commitment for Jesus. But the best thing about it is it doesn't cost anything. It's absolutely free. It does not cost you a thing. And if you just admit, believe, and commit, that's all there is to it. He'll take care of the rest. Salvation's up to him, and he's the only one that can give it. If I have any words of wisdom to leave with y'all, I would say be kind to everyone that you come to. Pretty much the person on each side of you sitting here tonight is either in a battle, fixing to go into a battle, or coming out of a battle. You never know what another person's going through. One devastating word to that person can be just awful. There's no telling what it might do, but one loving, powerful, encouraging word could change their life, change their day, make their day. So it pays to be kind to people. Y'all have heard me talk for the last 2 nights about all the stuff that I've been through. I think you can pretty much easily say that I could be mad at God. I could blame God for what's happened to me and just go the other way, but I'm not. I am thankful for Jesus. I'm thankful for what he's done in my life. I'm thankful for him dying for me. I'm thankful for his salvation, and I'm thankful for having the opportunity to come speak to y'all. All right, guys, this is my man Tucker, and Tucker come to me after lunch today and he said, guess what? He said, you're going hunting. I was like, really? I was like, I don't have a gun. I'm not prepared for it. He said, I got you hooked up. He said, you use my gun. So he got his own personal gun out of his truck. We went down there and shot it. And the plan was we went with a hunter. We were going to let him shoot first. And if he killed the deer, I was going to get to shoot. Didn't quite work out for us.
No, it didn't. We seen some deer. We first got in the food plot. He run off and we drove in, and then there's some deer at the gate. that we saw, hoping they'd come around back and come in, but they didn't. And then about 20 minutes after we sat down and got set up, here comes one of them. And it didn't seem like anybody was on the right page of the book. So everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. We were dropping stuff. The blind almost collapsed on us. I think a chair fell over. The whole time deer didn't do nothing. And the second that Donnie stood up, that deer took off and blew. I mean, just the quietest thing that happened, the whole situation made her take off. And we didn't see nothing else.
So I'm gonna tell y'all, we had fun in this blind with this man. I learned all kind of stuff today.
Yeah. We got a little video of some of it.
I learned that the deer will not come from the field.
Yeah.
They're going to come from the woods.
Yeah. Well, that's theoretically, when you think of it scientifically, the deer that are not in the plot will come from the woods. And they're not going to come from the sky. They come from the woods. So
yeah, and what about trees?
Yeah. Hold on. Wait. I learned
that's chapter 3 of the book that we wrote.
Yeah.
That was chapter 1.
The main ingredient in water is H2O.
It is. It's dihydrogen monoxide.
Yeah.
And it is. It's water.
And we saw some trees that were actually growing out of the ground straight up, and the roots are beneath the soil.
And they grow. And that kind of took chapter 1, which was the woods, and chapter 2 was water, and it showed how the trees get water, and we went from there. So we did learn a lot. We taught a little bit and stuff. And I feel it was very not only educational but also purposeful.
So we're on chapter 3 right now with words of wisdom from Tucker. Yeah, I hope to finish the book out before we leave. But this man kept me in stitches. We had a blast with the blind. I appreciate you going with me, brother. I had a great time, man. I appreciate it, man.
We hopefully we can do it again next year.
Yeah, I'd love to come next year, man.
That's a fine 8 there. That is nice.
That's the biggest buck we killed at the house.
That is. Where was that at?
5
That
minutes
is pretty.
Outside Big Level 4-1.
Okay. Now,
That is pretty.
12.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Oh, he's gonna have a hard time beating that. Is awesome.
Definitely.
That's a fine deal. That is a
That's the first rack buck he's ever killed. So.
All right, guys, we're here with one of the hunters from Hope Outdoors. Tell them your name and a little bit about your hunt, buddy.
Well, we got in there probably about 3:45, somewhere around there, and there was some deer that stepped out, and a buck was in the mix, but we couldn't get the shot on it. And then we waited a little bit, and then a doe showed up, a piebald doe showed up, and we took the shot.
All right. Did she drop? Did she run off?
Yes, sir. She dropped.
Awesome.
All right.
That's
She
great.
dropped.
How big was the buck that was in the field?
It was
A little basket rat.
about a 6 point. Yes, sir.
Right. But you happy with the doe, ain't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
If it's brown, it's down.
That's what I'm talking about. That's my man right here. Tell him your name, buddy.
My name is Austin Stokes.
All right. We saw him a little bit earlier, and he hadn't killed one yet. We told him to stick with it. His persistence paid off, and he got him one, man. I'm proud of you, buddy.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
That's awesome, man.